Hey y'all, this is Miss Barlow. We are going to look at the chef's amazing soup again on today. I want to make sure that you have an understanding of what it is that is expected of you, of how to work through these problems, and I want to answer any questions that you may have. Today is Friday and we have a lot of activities planned, but I want to make sure that you get this lesson. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, the standard for this lesson is 7NS. Well, actually 7NS1. Apply and extend knowledge of operations of whole numbers, fractions, and decimals to add, subtract, multiply, and divide rational numbers, including integers, signed fractions, and decimals. And the objective when you walk out of this classroom, I want you to be able to confidently say, I can subtract integers using counters, number lines, or using the rules of operating on integers. Our essential question today is, how do we subtract integers? All right, so the first question says 3 cold cubes were added and 5 hot cubes were added. So we remember from yesterday, we talked about the 3 cold cubes being negative. And this word here is very important. Added. 3 cold cubes were added and 5 hot cubes were added. So this is an addition problem. From the beginning, 3 cold cubes were added and then 5 hot cubes. So we'll just put plus 5 hot cubes. Excuse my sloppiness. So how do we write this, you guys? How do we write this as an equation? How do we write this as an equation? Well, I look here and I see that this is a -3. So I'm going to write it as -3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. -3 plus 5. Now, let's look at this. We talked about, in one of our recent videos, about adding integers. And we said that if the signs are the same, you find the sum. If the signs are different, you find the difference. And y'all, I'm about to run off this page here, okay? So same means sum. You're going to add. Different means difference, okay? Let's look here. Are these signs the same or are they different? You're right, they're different. So we subtract. We can't say 3 minus 5, so we say 5 minus 3. And we know that 5 minus 3 is what, class? Very good. Now, I've got to figure out whether this 2 is going to be positive or it's going to be negative. And the rule says I look at each number and I say which one without the signs would be bigger. Which one has the greatest absolute value? And that's 5. Well, the 5 is a positive, so my answer has to take on the same sign. That's what I mean when I say same means sums, different means difference. Always take the sign of the big dog. Whoop, whoop. The big dog is the number in the problem where the absolute value is the largest. So our answer to that problem is 2. Any questions? I'm going to stop this while I'm playing in a class to see if you have any questions about this. Any questions? All right, let's look at this one. It says 6 hot cubes were added and 8 cold cubes were added. So first of all, we say that added, okay? We know that this is about to be an addition problem. Well, what are we adding? We're adding 6 hot cubes. And we said that the hot, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those are the hot, and 8 cold cubes. So here we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? Now, how do I, before I even find the answer, how do I write this as an equation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a positive 6. And remember, we're adding, so we're going to say plus. What are we adding? We're adding 8 negatives. So we're going to put the minus 8. Now, sometimes you'll see people, they will put the parentheses there to kind of separate the two. But this is 6 plus a negative 8. Let's go to our song. Same means some. Different means difference. Always take the sign of the big dog. Whoop, whoop. Same means some. Different means different. So are these signs the same or are they different? Let's look at it. In front of the 6, there's nothing. That means that this is positive. What's directly in front of the 8 is a negative. Okay? Are these alike or are they different, class? You're right, they're different. So when they're different, what do? Subtract. Can we subtract 6 minus 8? No. So we can say 8 minus 6, and 8 minus 6 is going to be what? 2. Now, let's look at both of these. We got 8 and we got 6. If we were not to look at the signs and we just looked at the number by itself without the positive or the negatives, which one would be larger? The 8. In this case, what's in front of the 8? It's a negative. So our answer has to also be negative. So in this case, the answer will be a negative 2. And just to kind of go back, these are opposite pairs. If you still feel comfortable doing it this way, we see that negative 2 is our answer. Any questions? All right, I want you to do this one. I'm going to pause it, and I want you to do this one on your own really quickly, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to put the answer there, okay? All right, did you get this for your answer? Okay, it says, let's look at it. 9 cold cubes. 2 more cold cubes. So we're talking about negatives in this case. 9 cold cubes were added. So when we put in 9 cold cubes. And 2 more cold cubes were added. So we added 2 more cold cubes. We know that the cold are the negatives. So our answer should be a negative 11. Let's look at this. Are these signs alike or are they different? They're alike. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, it's a plus sign, Ms. Barlow. Yes, it is. But we're looking at what's directly in front of the integer. What's directly in front of the integer. And both of those are negatives. So same means some. So some means we're going to add them up. 9 plus 2 is 11. And both of them are negative, so our answer has to be negative. So there you are. Let's look at this problem here. It says 10 cold cubes were added and 6 cold cubes were removed. This is different, y'all. This is different. Removed. What does remove mean? It means subtraction. If you're removing something, you're subtracting it. So 10 cold cubes, we represent 10 cold cubes by a negative 10. And it says we're added, so we put that in. So we don't have to put the plus sign because 10 cold cubes were added. Basically, we just added that negative 10 by putting it there. That was us adding it. We put it there. And 6 cold cubes were removed. So we have to take away minus, because that word removed, 6 cold cubes. How do we represent 6 cold cubes? Negative 6. So now I know you're probably thinking, what in the world? No. This was for the removed. And this represents the 6 cold cubes. All right? Now let's go back to what we talked about yesterday. We said that if we have negative 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we need to remove 6 of the cold cubes. Let's just take them out. We're just removing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many are we left with? We're left with 4 cold cubes. So our final answer is what, class? negative 4. Now let me show you something that may help you in the future. If you ever have two negative signs together, look at this. They are right there next to each other. There is not a number between them. Whenever you have two negatives right there together, they are going to combine into one big plus sign. Like, boom. I put them together and they're one big plus. So now if you look at it, it's a addition problem, which we know the addition problems are a little bit easier to do. Negative 10 plus 6. Look at the signs. Are they alike or different? They're different. Different means difference. 10 minus 6 is 4. Look at 10 and 6. What is the biggest number without the sign? It's 10, and in front of that 10 is a negative. So that's just another way I want you to look at this problem. Remember, if you have two negatives next to each other, you can always do the click, click, boom, and it becomes a plus sign. Okay? I want you to try this one on your own. All right, I need a volunteer to go to the board, and I need you to work this problem out for your class. I want you to go to the board and work this out for your class. All right, do you agree with their answer? Let me see a thumbs up if you agree. Okay, a thumbs down if you don't. All right, the final answer here is, let's see, plus 5 were added. And 4, so do I need this plus 5? No. When I am starting off an equation, I do not, if it's a positive, I do not need a plus 5. If I was writing my age and I said Miss Barlow is 41 years old, I am not going to put a plus. I barely want to put the 41, but I definitely, would not put the plus. So I don't need that. Okay, so 5 hot cubes were added and 4 cold cubes were removed. So we are taking away how many cold cubes? 4. And we got to remember that 4 cold cubes is a minus 4. You remember that rule we talked about? What did we say? Click, click, boom. There it is. Now, 5 plus 4. What's 5 plus 4, class? 9. Look at you. Y'all are some scholars. You better. Okay, let's go on. 12 hot cubes were added and 7 cold cubes were removed. Stop and do this on your own on your worksheet. All right, let's check your work. We got 12 hot cubes were added and 7 cold cubes were removed. Remove means subtraction, and we're removing 7 cold cubes. We remember what our rule says. If we have two negatives right next to each other, we can go the click, click, boom. 12 plus 7 is going to be 19. So it should be 19 degrees. I hope this is right. If it's not, y'all correct me. All right, so we have these problems here, and basically they want us to make up a situation where that fits this equation. So I'll do the first one for you. It says plus 23. So it seems like they added 23 23 hot cubes. So we're going to say they added 23 hot cubes. And then they added 5 more hot cubes. Add 23 hot cubes and add 5 more hot cubes. So we don't really need this plus there. I mean, it's okay. It's not going to hurt anything, but we know that's just 23. 2 pluses together, that doesn't mean anything. We just going to plus and plus is just plus. So that's the same as just 23 plus 5, and that gives us a 28. All right, let's look here. How could we write this? This is important that we remember, how do we write this as a a situation. What could we say? This is plus 3, so that means we're adding what kind of cubes? We're adding 3 hot cubes. And then we are adding 7 cold cubes. Okay? Adding 3 hot cubes and then adding 7 cold cubes. So let's look at this. I want you to look at the signs directly in front of the integer. Don't worry about that one. What's directly in front? And those are same means some, different means difference. These are different. So we have to subtract, which is what difference means. 7 minus 3 is 5. The largest number is 7. Well, if you look at the absolute value of -7 and +3, -7 has the greatest absolute value. So because of that, we know that our answer will take on the negative sign. All right, you do this one. I want you to come up with a sentence for it, situation, and then solve it. All right, here we add it because we have to add. We're adding 4 cold cubes, and then we're adding 10 hot cubes. Signs are different. We subtract. The answer is a +6. I'm going to let you finish the rest of these on your own. Now, once you're finished, I want you to look at this problem because this is something that we often run into issues with. Let's look at this. It's -5 minus 3, okay? -5. Any subtraction problem, this is a subtraction because we see a minus sign, needs to be turned into an addition problem. All subtraction problems can be turned into addition. So a lot of you have said, Ms. Barlow, is that a -3 or is that a subtract 3? Well, I want to help you figure this out. Because it's a subtraction problem, we need to put a plus sign in between the two. So now you know that that's a -5 and that's a -3. You can solve it now because you can look at it and you can say, okay, my signs are the same, so I add. It's a +8 and my answer is 8. Let's look at this one. Okay, here's another subtraction. We can always change subtraction to addition by throwing a plus sign in front of it. So now we see that this is -3 plus -1. And you know that those are both negatives. Same means some. You add them up. When you add them up, you get a 4. And the answer is -4. All right, you guys, I think this video has lasted long enough. I know you've enjoyed listening to me, as I always enjoy presenting lessons to you. You are going to have some homework tonight, this weekend, and I really want you to just take it seriously, walk through them, work through them, because Monday you guys have a quiz. Let me quiz. I need you guys to be ready. The quiz will cover adding and subtracting integers. So the problems I will give you for homework will be very much similar to what you will have on the quiz. And guess what? I know you're going to do wonderful. Y'all have a great weekend and know that I believe in you and we've got this. All right, until Monday, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.